morning, everyone! I'm Ma'am Lea B, Delos Santos, your Earth and Life Science mentor for today. We are now in Week 5, Quarter 2, Module 23, entitled The Perpetuation of Life. Our learning competency describes the different ways of how representative animals reproduce. Our objectives: identify the type of asexual and sexual reproduction in animals. Describe the different ways of how representative animals reproduce. And realize the importance of reproduction to maintain the continuity. Before we start our lesson, let us have first a few gentle reminders. Prepare your ballpen, notebook, module, and weekly home learning plan for your guidance. Set a conducive learning space. Seek assistance from your parents or guardian. Take down notes of some important concepts. List down questions you would like to ask from your teacher. Reflect together with the applications or takeaways from the different concepts that you have learned from the lesson. Let us try to look back our previous lessons from unifying theme in the study of life in a form of game entitled Name It. I will give the descriptions and you will give the name of the different picture in 5 seconds. Ready? The first picture explains the unity and diversity of life. It is the change in living things over time. Your 5 seconds starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is evolution. Very good. The second picture explains the relationship of science and technology to society, which are now more crucial to understand than ever before. Your 5 seconds starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is biology and society. Good job. The third picture shows organisms are interdependent with one another and evolve to live and interact with other organisms. Your 5 seconds starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is interaction with the environment. Very good. The fourth picture gives the basic unit of life, which denoted that all living things are composed of different parts and functions. Your 5 seconds starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is cellular basis of life. Good job. The fifth picture is autotrophs use light to perform the process of photosynthesis. On the other hand, heterotrophs consume other organisms to obtain food. What unifying themes tells us about the picture? Your 5 seconds starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is energy and light. Very well said. To start with, I have here another game entitled Pick the Word. Here is the mechanics. A set of pictures, words, or letters will be shown on your screen, which represents the syllables of the missing words. The pictures, words, or letters should serve as your clue. You are given 5 seconds to guess the words. Let's practice practice before we start the actual game. Here is an example. Ear plus ring equals earring. Are you ready? Pick the word number 1. Red minus D plus promise minus M-I-S-E plus duck minus K plus caution minus C-A-U. What word would it be? Your 5 seconds starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is reproduction. Very good. Reproduction means to reproduce. It is a biological process by which an organism reproduces an offspring who is biologically similar to the organism. Picture word number 2. A plus second minus O-N-D plus 6 minus S-I plus U plus alligator minus ligator. What word is that? Your time starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is asexual. Nice one! Pick the word number 3. Secret minus R-E-P plus X plus alive minus I-V-E. Your time starts now. What do you think is the answer? Time is up. The correct answer is sexual. Good job. What is sexual reproduction? It is a mode of reproduction involving the fusion of a ploid female gamete or exa and a ploid male gamete or sperm cell. The fusion of these gametes occurs at fertilization, resulting in the formation of a diploid zygote. Pick the word number 4. At this point, I will let you analyze the following pictures: a bicycle, nap, river, fish, and on. Your 5 seconds starts now. Time is up, and the appropriate word is, you're right, binary fission. That's a great answer. Binary fission occurs when a parent cell splits into 2 identical daughter cells of the same size. Pick the word number 5. Frag plus man plus taste minus STE plus caution minus CAU. What word is that? Your 5 seconds will start now. Time is up. The correct answer is fragmentation. Very good. What is fragmentation? It occurs when a parent organism breaks into fragments or pieces, and each fragment develops in a new organism. Pick the word number 6. Buddha minus HA plus ring minus R. What word is that? Your 5 seconds starts now. Time is up! The correct answer is budding. Great job! What is budding? Budding occurs when a parent cell forms a bubble-like bud. The buds stay attached to the parent cell while it grows and develops. When the bud is fully developed, it breaks away from the parent cell and forms a new organism. Well done! Congratulations! From the game picked word, you have seen the different pictures about reproduction. What is reproduction? A reproduction is the biological process by which new individual organisms' offspring are produced from their parents. You get the perfect score. It shows that you are now ready to move forward to our next lesson, the perpetuation of life. What do you think is perpetuation? Perpetuate comes from a Latin root perpetuus, which means continuous or universal. From those group of pictures in our games, it gives you an idea about reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is the biological process by which new individual organisms' offspring are produced from their parents. What is the purpose of reproduction? We have types of reproduction: the asexual and sexual reproduction. The asexual reproduction is the formation of new individuals from the cells of a single parent, while sexual reproduction is the perpetuation of a new organisms with the use of gametes. Whether an organism is reproduced asexually, like clones, or sexually, like identical twins, the goal is the same. Let us complete the exploration activities to learn the purpose of asexual reproduction. Let us watch this video and take down notes.
Welcome to Moo Math and Science. In this video, I'd like to talk about asexual reproduction. Many organisms, like this platypus, reproduce sexually or with two partners. But other organisms, like bacteria and even multicellular organisms, reproduce asexually. In asexual reproduction, you only have one parent, and the offspring is genetically identical to the parent. I'd like to talk about a couple of the different ways of asexual reproduction. In many prokaryotes, which do not have an organized nucleus, carry out binary fission. The DNA makes a copy of itself, the cell stretches, and then makes two identical copies. It is nice because you can practice this very quickly. Some bacteria can make up to 520 copies within a couple of hours, so reproduction can be very quickly. The downside is there is no genetic variation within the population. Another method of asexual reproduction is budding. A new organism grows by mitosis and cell division on the body of the parent. When the bud gets large enough, it breaks off and creates a new organism. Take a look at Hydra budding. A third type of asexual reproduction is vegetative regeneration or propagation. A portion of the plant falls off or is cut off and is placed in a positive environment and grows into an exact copy of the original plant. Another type of asexual reproduction is animal regeneration or fragmentation. Some animals, like the starfish, can grow back pieces or even whole new organisms. In this next video, check out the planarian, how it is cut in half, and each part of the planarian can stay alive and will develop into an exact copy of the original parent.
Let us define again asexual reproduction. It is organism reproduces offspring on its own. There is only one parent and the offspring will inherit all of its genes from that single parent. The offspring and the parent are genetically identical. There is no genetic variation. It is very common in plants, less common in animals. Let us compare your notes from the video to some diagram displayed. Like paramecium, the single-celled bacteria. Then we have the starfish, strawberry, and the hydra. So we have the types of asexual reproduction. Fission. Fission means division. During asexual reproduction, the parent cell divides into two or more cells. Unicellular organisms show. Binary fission. Cell elongates and nucleus starts to split. Nucleus divides and cell begins to split to produce the daughter cells. Another is mitosis. The process of mitosis generates new cells that are genetically identical to each other. Some organisms can use mitosis to reproduce asexually. The offspring of asexual reproduction are genetically identical to each other and to their parent. Another type of asexual reproduction is budding. It is a type of asexual reproduction in which a new organism develops from an outgrowth or bud due to cell division at one particular site. For example is the hydra. In the first stage, tiny bump appears as parent hydra. And then, the second stage, the parent hydra develops bud. The third stage, the bud grows. And the final stage, bud breaks off to become an independent hydra. Then we have also the vegetative reproduction. It is the growth and development of a plant by asexual means. It occurs through the fragmentation and regeneration of specialized vegetative plants parts. Many plants that reproduce asexually are also capable of sexual propagation. Next type of asexual reproduction is fragmentation. Fragmentation is another mode of asexual reproduction. The parent body divides into two or more fragments. Later, Each fragment develops into a new individual. Multicellular organisms like Planaria, Spirogyra, and others reproduce by fragmentation. And of course, we have this parthenogenesis. It is a type of asexual reproduction in which a female gamete or egg cell develops into an individual without fertilization. Animals, including most kinds of wasps, bees, and ants that have no sex chromosomes, reproduce by this process. How will you differentiate asexual from sexual? Sexual reproduction is the perpetuation of a new organism from two organisms with the use of gametes. The organism reproduces to pass on genetic information and increase the population. A new offspring is produced by combining the genetic information of two parents. Let us find out through this video.
Sexual reproduction. The goal of many animals is to live long enough to reproduce and pass their genes onto their offspring. To ensure their genes are passed on for generations, almost all animals go through the process of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is when a male and female sex cell come together to create a unique organism. The male reproductive cell is called the sperm. The sperm contains 50% of the father's genes. The female reproductive cell is called the egg. An egg cell contains 50% of the mother's genes. When the two cells join together, the genetic material combines. The joining of reproductive cells is called fertilization. Some animals, like humans, go through internal fertilization, where the egg is fertilized inside the body. The offspring develop inside the mother. Some animals, like fish, have external fertilization. The female releases her eggs. Then the male fish spreads his sperm over her eggs. The young develop outside of the body. No matter how the egg is fertilized, the offspring gets some genes from each parent. Sexually reproduced offspring are not identical to either. So the next time you see an animal, think about where it came from and how it'll make offspring. Sexual reproduction.
In sexual reproduction, it requires two parents that each share half of the genetic information. Like in meiosis, it is a process where a single cell divides twice to produce four cells containing half the original amount of genetic information. These cells are sex cells, sperm in males, eggs in females. During meiosis, one cell divides twice to form four daughter cells. These four daughter cells only have half the number of chromosomes of the parent cell. They are haploid. Meiosis produces are sex cells or gametes, eggs in females, and sperm in males. We have types of fertilization. The first is the external fertilization. It occurs mostly in wet environment and requires both the male and the female to release or broadcast their gametes into their surroundings, usually in water. Informal fertilization particularly happens in aquatic animals. Sexual reproduction occurs outside of the body. And the other type of fertilization is internal, in which it shows here the union of an egg cell with a sperm during sexual reproduction inside the body of a parent. For this to happen, there needs to be a method for the male to introduce the sperm into the female's productive tract. So we have three methods: the oviparity, ovoviviparity, viviparity. First, the oviparity. Oviparous. Animals retain the fertilized egg inside the body, where development occurs and nourishment is received from the yolk. They include those that reproduce by laying eggs with little or no embryonic development within the mother. Next is ovoviviparity. Ovoviviparous animals produce eggs that develop within the mother's body. When the eggs hatch within the mother, the offspring stay within the mother for some time, eating unfertilized eggs in the womb for nourishment. The offspring do not have an umbilical cord to attach the embryo to their mother. Viviparity. This type of sexual reproduction is one wherein a young developed within the female and nourishment is received directly through the placenta. Viviparous animals like human and most mammals give birth to living young that have nourished in close contact with their mother's body. We have advantages and disadvantages of asexual reproduction. First, the advantages: produces more offspring, takes less time, only one parent was involved, no searching for mates, and it requires less energy. The disadvantages are same DNA being passed down, no genetic variation in the offspring. If a parent has genetic disease, offspring will have it too. The advantages and disadvantages of sexual reproduction. For the advantages, variation in offspring organism is more protected because of genetic variation, while the disadvantages are requires two organisms, must find a mate, requires more cellular energy, more time required for offspring development. Therefore, we realize that reproduction is necessary for the continuation of every species. Every organism alive today comes from a long line of ancestors who reproduce successfully every generation. Most organisms reproduce sexually or asexually, but some are capable of both. The ability to reproduce defines living things. My dear students, here are some key takeaways that will help you to be more advanced in terms of science and technology. First, genetic engineering. It is the process by which one organism's DNA is transferred into another organism of an entirely different species to acquire desired characteristics. For example, seedless grapes. Can you add some more? Another is in vitro fertilization. It is a process by which a sperm fertilizes an egg without the body, which is also known as the test tube baby. Another is plant tissue culture. This technique is used to grow, maintain, and reproduce plant cells and tissues in a nutrient media under controlled sterile conditions. Examples: pineapple, sweet potato, tomatoes. After knowing all the concepts about the perpetuation of life, let us find out if the lessons are clear to you or not by answering 10 items exit ticket questions. Choose the letter of the best answer. In 5 minutes, write the chosen letter in your chat box. Exit ticket number 1. Reproduction in animals involves the production of a new living organism by combining two gametes from different organisms. One male producing motile gamete that must fuse with the egg cell from female organism. A. Asexual. B. Sexual. C. Both A and B. D. None of A and B. Timer starts now. The correct answer is letter B, sexual. Exit ticket number 2. Sperm cells and egg cells are used in sexual reproduction among animals. What is the collective term for them? A. Body cells. B. Gametes. C. Both A and B. D. None of A and B. Your timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter B, gametes. Exit ticket number 3. Which is true about asexual reproduction in animals? A. Involves more amount of time in the process. B. Produce identical offspring like the parents. C. Utilize gametes of the body. D. Variety of genetic makeup is produced. Your timer starts now. The correct answer is letter B. Produce identical offspring like the parents. Exit ticket number 4. Mechanism of asexual reproduction in which female offspring develops from unfertilized eggs. A. Budding. B. Fragmentation. C. Transverse fission. D. Time is up. The correct answer is letter D. Parthenogenesis. Exit ticket number 5. A new individual grows on the body of its parents like hydra and yeast. A. Binary fission. B. Budding. C. Fragmentation. D. Parthenogenesis. Your timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter B. Budding. Exit ticket number 6. The organism is split into 2 separate organisms like bacteria. A. Binary fission. B. Budding. C. Fragmentation. D. Parthenogenesis. Time is up. The correct answer is letter A. Binary fission. Exit ticket number 7. Flatworms or planarian divides into two, living one piece headless and the other tailless. Each piece grows the missing body parts. A. Binary fission. B. Budding. C. Fragmentation. D. Parthenogenesis. Your timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter A, binary fission. Exit ticket number 8. Are individuals possess two reproductive systems are referred to as monozyous. A. Budding. B. Hermaphroditism. C. Time is up. The correct answer is letter B, hermaphroditism. Exit ticket number 9. Giraffe and lion are example of A. Oviparous, B. Viviparous, C. Both A and B, D. None of A and B. Time is up. The correct answer is letter B, viviparous. Exit ticket number 10. Giraffe and lion are examples of A. Oviparous, B. Viviparous, C. Both A and B, D. None of A and B. Your timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter A, oviparous. Another day is done. Another lessons learned in Earth and Life Science. I know that you are more ready to answer your module based on the weekly home learning plan given to you. Once again, this is Ma'am Lea Delos Santos saying, every day is a new day, full of hope, happiness, health, and love. So love yourself, love your health, stay safe and healthy. God bless us all.